What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Arachnity of Fate Zero. Turn on episode 13 of our Fatey little show. So basically, what's going on? That's a great little question you got there, huh? Oh man, that's what's going on. There's a lot going on in this show. The last two episodes were probably my two favorites, especially episode 11. Episode 11 was freaking goated. It was basically Iskandar proving himself to be the Giga Chad that I knew he was, but he verbalized it so well. It's just like, oh, yeah, I just love it so much. What I'm gonna start with is I'm actually gonna show off a little bit. I'm not gonna read through it, but I just want to put it on the screen in case people want to read it. This is from the Discord. This is basically a Discord plug, okay? And so it's just a segment of discussion from the Discord that I thought was good. So I'm gonna just do a little like ding, 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 and you can pause and read some of it if you want. It was basically talking about like a lot of the statements I was making on like that was based off of what Iskandar was saying. So the like super, live life, like Giga Chad mentality, never regret, that type of stuff. Yapping level today, catastrophic. So yeah, it just goes to show, check out the Discord. We do a little bit of yapping there every once in a while. Sometimes the yapping's fun, so you can be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I'm back from my trip. I did the last 4 episodes I watched at once, because I was prepping for the trip, which means it's been a little extra while since I've watched the show. We're just gonna watch episode 13 because I think that's where the core split is, if I remember right. And so we're just gonna do a little 13, get back into the flow of it. Should be kind of nice. The main thing we want to remember is, holy crap, names are gonna be hard for me coming back. It's one of those things that I blink and it's gone. Kirei. Oh, it literally says it right here. Yeah, Kirei's back in action, okay? He got, brought back in by the Grail from, right here, here it is. Seared back into his flesh, despite there being no servant that has been released from their contract. So, well, as far as we know, right? I mean, I'm assuming he's just correct, but, you know what I mean? Like, that nobody got, like, off-screened. So, who actually knows what's going on there? Oh yeah, and the idea was that he was going to have to steal a servant, right? So we will just have to see what happens there. That is really scary. Otherwise, we got Saber. They were freaking... Oh my goodness, my phone's on low power mode, so my notes keep disappearing. Stop it! We got freaking Iri. Iri and Saber. Iri... They were doing magic stuff, and Iri's super weak. Homunculus moment. Okay? That's pretty much the most important things from last episode 12. And then episode 11, we got to see Iskandar's reality marble, I think it was called, which was pretty much the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not going to be lying, okay? I'm not going to lie to you. This was so incredible. This was so fun to watch. It literally was just the... like, even that line, bro. A king must live a life more vivid than any other and be a figure for all to admire. I, agreed. How could you not follow this man into war? And then his summon, his, a special ultimate ability is to summon a bunch of people that believed in him. It's so perfect! Like, this episode, cemented the, oh, this is why people wanted me to watch Fate. I get it now. In the beginning, it was, Battle Royale. I was a little confused a little bit. I was still having fun with it, but it was what's the point? What's the point, man? This episode completely flipped me around and got me freaking... It flipped me onto my back and just did things to me. Pause. So yeah, let's just jump into episode 13. The Forbidden Banquet. Probably shouldn't have read that. That's okay. We'll probably take this one a little easier as we're just getting back into flow. But we'll see. Maybe something crazy will happen. We'll get a little yapping going, alright? Reminder, Pip is on the Patreon for $1. Timer bottom left. And basically Pog. Episode 13. Let's just go in a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang. Alright, looks like all my stuff works. Me furiously checking everything at the start to make sure it works. Okay. We're on episode 13. It just did 12. Yeah. Is this a flashback, maybe? Ooh. Look how he's splayed out. Waver looks so... Waver, what's up? Waver's starting to understand him. Remember? I was saying that their relationship with each other is getting real good. Getting way better. Ever since the child murderer. Ryunosuke, right? Of course I remember his name. That was actually a good point Waver just made. Alright. Anyway, remember, like, share, subscribe. You know how it goes. Comment down below if you have something to say. I started mixing those into the episode because I got a plug. Okay, back to the show, though. Dude, that just made me think. What if you summon someone who historically you think was like, okay, I'm so sorry in advance for what I'm about to say. But, like, you do the servant summoning and you accidentally summon Hitler. Like GG, right? Like, you know what I mean? Hitler the caster. I can't deal with it, man. Like, you know what I mean, though? Like, a lot of historical figures are villains. Or at least are perceived, you know, as villains, right? They probably thought they were the good guys. That's usually how it goes. You know what I mean, though? Like, Alexander the Great, he do be called the Great. And I kind of have a positive impression of him. But I'm gonna be real, I don't really know. And I've said this before. The conquering and stuff, and kind of what Waver just, like, alluded to, saying, like, I'm sure the people you conquered weren't, like, or the nations weren't too happy about you conquering them for such a reason. Like, that type, he's kind of right. Like, I'm not entirely sure how, you know, how bad the conditions were after all that conquesting. And, like, conquesting in and of itself, you know? So, it's one of those things where, like, that just adds another element to the master-servant relationships, which are so cool already. It's not really something we have to worry about too much, but, like, if Kirei gets Caster, for example. If Kirei stole Caster, that would be insane, would it not? They would have a lot of trouble, like, working together. It's that type of thing. That's a little different, because that's not historical, but... My sacrifices, man! My children's sacrifices, man! True. How could they do this? Pick yourself up, my boy. That's a crazy line from him. That's a crazy line. We the elites. True. Good line. I like the way that was written. Oh, good line again. Caster, why do you have good mentality? Why does someone like you gotta have so much good mentality? Find joy in the creation? That's true. Man, maybe I should, you know, get on their grind set a little bit. They seem to be really, you know, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Okay. Oh, so someone did clarify to me, I forget where. Or let me focus. And I wasn't punished. Is that what you're about to say? Wow, that's an interesting mentality to do a bunch of like horrible things. I'm doing a bunch of evil to test God. Wait, that's kind of... I mean, that's kind of smart. I mean, not really, probably, but... Because they coveted my wealth and land? I mean, but you could always say God works in mysterious ways, blah, blah, blah. They coveted your land specifically because God willed them to, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, something, something. You can... That's the thing about... You can always wiggle your way out of attacking. Oh, okay. Interesting. 5 billion? Be more than 5 now. What do you think of that, Caster? Dang, the religious discussion from two murdering, child murdering psychos. He understands the beauty that we understand. Are you about to pervert God into the child murderer, bro? What are you gonna think of that, Caster? What does he think of the other ones? Like, Vices. Yeah. That's what I was leading to. That's what I thought you were. Yeah, okay, so me and Ryunosuke, he's one of the ones that understand that beauty. What is Caster gonna think of that? It's like so opposite to what Caster was thinking, but it kind of works. As new and invigorating as yours. He likes it. He likes that idea. I kind of really like Ryunosuke. No, they'd be something to enjoy. Yeah, wow, good point. Wait, Ryunosuke's lit. Oh my goodness. It's kind of really good mentality, minus the child murdering. He's made it both into win conditions, bro. Everything's a win condition. You can do anything. You're kind of right. I kind of like it. It's interesting. It's interesting to me. Ryunosuke's way more interesting now. I love that. Dude, this show's kind of lit. Like to play the part of the villain thing. That cut was crazy. Cutting to Iskandar, throwing it back in his jeans. Stay in the arcade. Waver. I really hope Waver doesn't get sniped by homeboy. No, he's gonna conquer the arcade. He's teaching him. He's teaching him. Macedonian. Dude, how could you be a normal guy walking past him? This guy's like 12 feet tall, man. Alright, Waver. What section is he going to? I would expect a historical section. Yeah. He's trying to learn more about Alexander the Great. See, they're starting to understand each other because of the child murdering. Gave dominion and the power to tax to the local nobles. Oh, right. Oh, they're starting... Yeah. He just wanted to reach the sea at the world's edge. Yeah, we've seen the dreaming of each other. So he saw this dream. He's starting to understand his boy more. Oh my goodness, I love the character development. Embarrassing. Embarrassing! It's just, you're a freak of nature. Is that a game? He bought a new video game. This guy. Modern marketing is gonna destroy these poor historical figures, bro. Yeah, bro's got no idea what's going on. Oh, you bought the console. Oh, he a quick learner. Just kidding. Oh, they're gonna play games together. Good line. That's a really good counter to people that say, oh, I don't want to do the low class stuff. Truth, capital T. Capital T, truth. Capital T, truth is crazy. We love capital T, truth. Oh, he picked the right one out. Oh, he's embarrassed. He got caught. Good point. Whoa. He said it's misinformation. Crazy. Even 100th of that. He'd rather live his life than just have his name passed down. Bro, Waver's scrolling through Wikipedia just like I was. This is crazy. Yeah. Got sick. GG. Castro, what are you doing out there? What is... These guys are... Dude, these guys are having way too much fun with each other. I feel like... I'm scared one of them... They're gonna get jumped after doing this. This is gonna be way too obvious. They're gonna get jumped by everyone. Not yet. Okay. Back to Waver Iskandar. Are you gonna see it, Waver? Waver really thinking right now. Iskandar is lit. Don't call him boring. Play video games with who's practically guaranteed. You're too strong. Well, yeah, you wouldn't win with Assassin, though. Waver, come on. You would have lost. Yeah. Wow, he feels like he's getting too carried. Bro, you can't sign a Death Wish like that. Or have a Death Wish like that. Aww. That's a crazy statement. Dude, he's so wise. His poor insecurity, bro. Waver is so insecure. But Iskandar's my goat. What are you doing in what are you doing to him? Okay, he's just it's like whoa! Like, damn! Dude, his mentality is so good, bro. He's like so confident and sure, but he's also like not delusionally grandiose. But he's still confident despite that. Dude, I can't. This character is so good. I can't do it, man. He said, wrong mentality, wrong mentality. Ooh, ooh, spit, 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 spit. And that's important. Because that means you, yeah. Dude, he's got that ambitious grind set mindset. No, he loves the ambition. Okay. Okay. And you're just like me? Come on, say it. But he's idiot happy. And Waver is idiot insecure. You know what I mean? No, he didn't. Man, it's kind of a parallel to the Ryunosuke stuff. The joy of creation, the joy of the journey. Because for Iskandar, it's the joy of the journey. They were both, dude, both Waver and Ryunosuke were too attached to how things were. Instead of being attached to, like, the process of things being how you want it to be. We're being attacked. Dude, if Waver or Iskandar ever dies, I'm losing my mind. I'm so attached to these two now. These two are over. I really like Lancer too, but he's just... His squad sucks. His masters are not gonna make it out. Wow, Iskandar, dude, I love his mentality more than anything else. And they, dude. Shit, remember that they have the love triangle going on with these, like this. The tip of my spear? Is he talking about spear A, spear B, or spear C? The jumper. Bro does not have a squirrel suit. Oh, okay. Yeah. Dang, she catching feelings. She's not just manipulating. She actually catching feelings. Pretty boy, bro. Saber is in there. Dude, I need Saber to... I'm so ready for me to care about Saber more. I know that's a crazy thing to say. I want to love her more. Right now, she's kind of jobbed. I'll explain that more after. Something I was thinking about between episodes. Oh, my darling! Say it. Oh, he just gives a little bow? There it is. It's so funny that me and him both thought it was Joan of Arc. I still think that's so funny. Okay, so Castor... What's going on, man? He's summoning Cthulhu. Okay, he's actually summoning Cthulhu. It's straight up Cthulhu. Is that an eye? What is that? It's a huge... Iskandar? I can tell by... Dude, I'm in there. Hey, we trying to do a team up? Oh, you already... He's just talking to everyone. I freaking love this character. He is just... Heard, sir. Waver participating? Appreciate you, Waver. I'm loving the Waver development. Oh, interesting. Okay. We gotta snipe Castor to take out its battery. And we're on a time limit. Okay. We gotta dig! Man, this really is the break of a core. You could... They're literally doing a plan mission as a squad. This is crazy. Ooh, sniper? Okay. Saber in the cart. In the chariot. And then he rides her in and she cuts it through. It's gonna be good. Ooh, lore! That makes sense. Oh, that's... Okay, that's pretty sick. I didn't... Yeah, that's a nice skill. Bro, that's straight up the, based off the myths, bro. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. I love the Iskandar Waver development so much, man. It's so good. Alright, get in there. She doesn't even need to be on the cart, yeah? Because of the Lady of the Lake. Can she just walk on water? Oh my goodness. She can walk on water. She's Jesus. Okay. And then ending the episode, and that's the end of the core. They ended the core. Did they really end the core on that? I know I don't have to wait, but like, that's so mean. That's so mean. Everybody diving into the biggest battle yet, and they're just like, that's it. I just love Iskandar so much. His mentality, dude, it's crazy. There were two things going on. There was the Ryunosuke and Castor, and it paralleled Waver and Iskandar. It did. It really did, I think. Because, and I'll explain that more. I want to scroll through as I explain that. The other thing I want to talk about is Saber currently pretty much only jobbing to everyone. Okay? And I'm ready for Saber to start making moves. She's definitely our main character in big air quotes, or like our part of the main group, you know? But like, honestly, like, it's been a very diverse cast, so it's kind of hard to even say that, right? But man, like, both, because it's crazy, both I'll try to elaborate on the writer caster thing, right? Both Iskandar and Bluebeard, or let me just call him Caster. That's my favorite. Both Iskandar and Caster had the mentality. They had a similar mentality of like Iskandar was like, keep, even if it's dumb, and even if my desires are beyond myself, like I'm still gonna do it, and it's gonna be lit, right? Because he has a very positive mindset towards that. Wait, focus up. Wait, spoilers. All right, I can't. I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that. Nope. Usually it's just like the words, so I'm fine with it. But I don't want to see scenes, man. I'll be watching that soon. Nah, but freaking Iskandar, right? He was pretty much saying like, right here, right? Like he called himself an idiot, but he's smiling and he likes it, right? Glory lies beyond the horizon. You know what I mean? And he said it was like the rule of life where he's from. And he's obviously, I would say, a really happy guy. You know what I mean? He seems to really be like flourishing in a lot of ways, right? I'm just another idiot who dreams the same dream even after 2,000 years. So boy, a contract with an idiot like you is totally fine with me. That's what I was asking, bro. That's what I said. That's what I literally said like earlier in the conversation. I was like, we're both idiots. That's the line that I was expecting him to say. And he said it here. I'm just another idiot. A contract like an idiot like you is totally fine with me. Such good mentality. I love that so much. But yeah, him, like, it's just, I love this guy. Okay, but yeah, this here, right? Your desires lie beyond yourself. Glory lies beyond the horizon, after all. And in the world I lived in, that was the most basic rule of life. And he's smiling. So it's like even if the desires are like unable to be conquered, you still kind of pursue it no matter what, and you're having a good time with it. That's kind of how I'm taking that, right? Even, you know, and it's like the struggle against the world, even as this tiny little guy, but he still believes he's going to surpass it, right? That's really good. I really, really, really like that. Because it's like, even if you fail and die young or whatever, all he wants is to keep doing it. So it's not like he's despairing, right? And he's never regretting, you know? That was like a very big point earlier. And then it's similar to Caster, because what Caster was saying back here, before Ryunosuke like gave him the new philosophy, was we mustn't become excessively attached to our creations. All things that are given form are fated to break. We creators should find joy in the process of creation itself. I see that as pretty similar to Iskandar, because it's like Iskandar's creations would be like his legacy or whatever, like his name, you know, that gets put down historically or whatever, and he wasn't attached to that really. Instead, he just wanted to keep doing the adventure part. He wanted to keep making moves, man, and keep trying to reach that shore. And like reaching shore, and then like, you know, probably would want to keep going past that once he did it, right? And so it's the joy in the process of creation. That's very much how I think Iskandar lives, and that's why I love him, right? As opposed to being attached to his conquests, because if you're attached to like a certain city you conquested, then you would stay there, right? You wouldn't keep going. He wanted to keep going. It never stopped. That's this line right here, and that's exactly what I believe too. Just as creators generally, right? That it's kind of optimal to find joy in the process of creation itself. It's hard. It can be really hard to do that. Honestly, that's really hard. It's funny because when it comes to like the valuation of a creation, I don't like it would. I think this would be great. I don't think it would have value though. Do I want to get into that? That's an entire thing. That's an entire thing of my freaking brain rotted mind. Worms in it. Freaking maggots in my brain. Just kind of the idea that, like, what is the value of a creation? What is the value of, like, you know, a piece of art or whatever? I think that value, well, I don't know. I don't, like, even if you find joy in the process of a piece of art, like, the most value you could get would be your own joy with it. But you would get so much incredibly more if a bunch of other people also got joy in it. It's just better. It's kind of like utilitarian. Just take a little bit of utilitarianism with, like, the joy of art in order to ascribe it meaning. That's pretty much where I'm at. But if you can find joy in it, then you're pretty much lit, right? I mean, that's already a big improvement because you're guaranteeing one person to gain joy in the formation of this creation, right? And that already gives it a modicum of meaning, right? So that's kind of lit, and it's good for just well-being, right? If you want to like value well-being, then this is really good, right? Because then creation itself becomes your source of meaning, and then you can always keep creating, you know. That's kind of lit. as opposed to as opposed to being attached to your creations and then having them be destroyed, and then you lose your meaning, right? And then you lose your well-being, right? But yeah, so like both Ryunosuke is like so upset that he like the thing is broken or whatever. What is originally? I mean, Waver is upset for kind of a different reason a little bit, because he's just got his inferiority going on a lot and he just wants satisfaction. There was some really good lines in here. If your wish for the grail was something that impressed me, I wouldn't mind obeying you. But since you just want to use it to get taller, I mean, it really is that thing. Like, what would Waver do it with? Like, he doesn't want the grail for any wish. Even he just wants to prove he can get the grail, or like fight for the grail. He just wants to prove himself in that way. And he even kind of said that of like, I'd be fine with dying with assassin, because at least I'd be dying in my own battle, right? So he feels like he's getting dragged along, and that's just making his insecurity worse. But Iskandar the goat like counters it so well, like this line, bro. When you ever find a way of life that you can be truly proud of, you'll be forced into your own battle whether you like it or not. What a line. You can search for your battlefield then. Oh, it's gone. Like, man, it's so good. What an, like, it's just beautiful, man. It's just actually beautiful. You can find a way of life that you can be truly proud of. I mean, because I would imagine, like, if you find a way of life that you can be truly proud of, then you would be forced into a battle to, like, maintain it or pursue it. I mean, already, right? Like, if I find a way of life, and as a freaking monk, I want to be a monk, and I want to meditate, and I can be truly proud of that, then the battle is me being a monk. Boom. Right? But the thing is, like, so he's kind of saying, like, right now, obviously, Waver's not living a life that he can be truly proud of because he's not proud of himself. He's super insecure, right? And so he's in retaliation to Waver being like, I'm fine with dying in my own battle. Iskandar says, you can have your battle, but you can have it once you're proud of the way of life that you're living. As opposed to now, where you want to battle when you're not living the way of life that you can be proud of. So he's saying the battle's gonna come. You can search for your battlefield then, right? But it doesn't have to be now when you're insecure. And so he's basically saying, like, it's so good. And then Waver's like, boom, but don't you hate me? Right? So he's just being really honest with like his insecurity right now. Just being like, aren't you like upset that you're in this thing? I like Iskandar's response here. I wonder about that. The crazy thing about I wonder about that, bro, because what Waver's doing right now is he's fishing for like affirmation, right? He's fishing for like emotional support because he's insecure and he's kind of floundering, right? He's a little bit emotionally compromised, right? Personally, I'm not a huge fan of giving people emotional support, especially if they want it from me. That sounds really bad. Is it? Debatable. However, my kind of rationale there is I don't like when people are being like, oh, you hate me. Because obviously my only response, I'm kind of pressured into giving you the response. Obviously you're fishing for the response of, no, I don't hate you, I like you or love you or whatever, right? That's depending on the relationship, right? But that's what's being fished for, right? And then that kneecaps sucks all the juice out of that like statement, right? If somebody says, oh, you hate me, and then I go, no, I don't hate you, you're great. It's not that I think they're great. I'm just saying that because they're insecure and they're begging for it to be said. That doesn't mean it's true. Iskandar doesn't fall for that. He doesn't fall into that pit at all, right? Waver is doing the whole, like, and he's kind of doing it in a little bit of a venomous way a little bit, right? Because he's, like, kind of doing, like, mock happy. He's, like, kind of being mock, like, oh, you hate me. Oh, it's kind of like this, like, you know what I mean? As opposed to, like, despairing. But it's still that, right? Yeah, he's doing, like, a toxic mocking way. I mean, look at this freaking face he has. But instead of falling for any, like, that, like, weird emotional bait, either confer, because Waver could also be looking for, like, a confirmation of, yes, I do hate you. Is that what you want to hear? Just so that they can finally, like, you know, get an answer? Or it's, no, I don't hate you. Here's some emotional support, right? Iskandar just goes, he's just honest, and he's like, well, I wonder about that. Let me hit you with another life-changing monologue. Please do! Keep talking! And then this was perfect. Dude, this literally, try to draw the two of us next to the enemy, points to the map of the world. It's so good. It's so good. So that we can compare you and me. That's impossible, right? Against the enemy we're about to fight, you and I are the same, just tiny little dots. What point is there in comparing how big we are? It's such a good mentality because he's such a Giga Chad, but he's such a Giga Chad that he doesn't need to prove to people how much of a Giga Chad he is because he just is. My goodness, right? He doesn't need to flex how strong he is because he knows he's strong. And he also knows he's an idiot. It's not even about being strong, but it's not like he's insecure so he needs to feel strong, right? He doesn't need to feel strong because he's not insecure, because he's just having a good time freaking, being a hopeless idiot with a desire lying beyond himself, striving for glory. He's just got that he's got a striving, ambitious mindset, but he's flourishing off of it, man. I think this is real. I think this is possible. I think it's great. Like this, bro, with a body not even the size of a dot, I will someday surpass the world. The excitement in my chest is what causes the King of Conquerors' heart to beat. Like, the excitement of surpassing the world is what fuels him. And so he doesn't need to feel strong in compared to other people, which means he doesn't have to put down other people or to put himself up, right? Because he's doing his own thing and he's satisfied with it. He's living a life that he's truly proud of. Like, man, I feel like Iskandar just walked up and was a personification of, like, my ideal lived philosophy for a life. Low key. Like, a lot of the things I've been thinking recently, because your boy does think every once in a while, even if you don't imagine that I do. But, some of a lot of the things I've been thinking recently, it's like Iskandar just lives it, man. And you know what I mean? Is Iskandar the Ubermensch? Thoughts? You know what I mean? Like, he's just doing his own thing. He has a self-prescribed goal that he pursues, loves pursuing, and wants to keep living life to keep pursuing it, but he also understands rationally that he's a hopeless idiot. Oh my goodness. So he's got, like, the humility of understanding he's a hopeless idiot, so, like, it's, as much as it's kind of delusional, but it's a intended delusion. It's a known delusion, as opposed to an ignorant delusion. We're starting to get really crazy with our words here, because you might say that that's, like, paradoxical, or, like, but it's like, he's aware he's a hopeless idiot, whose desires are beyond himself, but that doesn't stop him from still doing his grind, right? And that is so perfect, man. And he wants to keep living life. He's checking my boxes. Live life. That was the thing, the Discord thing that I showed off at the beginning of the episode. That was like a lot of the thing I was talking about, right? That's literally what I was talking about in that Discord thing, bro. If you read that in the beginning, I literally was talking about, like, life affirmation, bro. Pulling it, I said Ubermensch, a little Nietzsche reference. I'm a little bit of a Nietzsche hoe, okay? I know that's like the freaking, like, what everybody is. You know what I mean? Or, like, that's what the meme is. So, like, let me just cook, man. But I am kind of a Nietzsche hoe, okay? A little bit. I feel like Iskandar is lit. I feel like Iskandar reads into it well, bro. He is not slave morality at all, bro. Bro's master morality. I love him. I love him. I want to be Iskandar, bro. Which is exactly what Iskandar does. That's the point of Iskandar! Don't you get it? Don't you get it? He literally, that's the point of a king. The point of a king is to inspire others to be like you. That's what he said. That's what he says, man. It's to inspire others. Right? That's what he was saying in episode 11. And that's what he's inspiring me to do. That's why he's so lit. This shit lit. Oh man, I could yammer about Iskandar for so many hours, so many years, bro. And then he does the bow, bro, because Waver continues digging himself through his insecurity. So you're saying that your master doesn't matter, right? He's saying, "Oh, I don't matter, Waver. My boy, you matter as much as anyone else." Like Loki. Okay, the crazy thing. This sentiment, so you're basically saying your master doesn't matter, right? I feel like I get that's I think that's a lot, or no, I don't think this. I get this a lot from people. I like, there's a very common sentiment where, like, people very much, I think, want to feel irreplaceable. You know what I mean? Overall. It's not true for everybody. But it's like, I want to be irreplaceable, right? I want to be a special someone, right? That's kind of like the point of, like, I think, like, you maybe read that into, like, a lot of relationships, like marriage or whatever. Where it's like, we are each other's person, we are special for each other, right? And that gives me, like, a value that cannot be valued because I am one of a kind. That kind of mentality, right? I completely disagree with it. I think everyone's replaceable completely. Low-key on the sleazy. It is what it is. I'm replaceable in every facet of my life. There's like certain things that like in a way you could try to argue in like interpersonal relationships with like where like there's only one oldest son in my family and it's me, right? So you couldn't have another oldest son because you could have another son. So like you can kind of get into like some nitty-gritty spots with that, but when it comes to actually like fulfilling human relationships, anyone like, or if it wasn't me, if it was just somebody else in my position, because that's like a role, right? That's like a role that could be irreplaceable, right? Where it's like I only am ever gonna have one biological mother. The crazy thing is that biological mother could have been anybody. You know what I mean? It's just chance or maybe fate or something, right? That it happened to be who it was. And so for like that's the closest thing to like irreplaceability I can think. And that's like what Waver's kind of feeling, right? So you're basically saying your master doesn't matter, right? And that's like I feel like I hear that all the time of like, oh, you're basically saying I'm replaceable. You would switch me for somebody else. You would break up with me and attach to somebody else, or whatever emotional connection you have with me, you could have with somebody else. Yes, yes, I could, and you could too. And that is part of why it is so special that we're having it with each other. Because if I could do it with only you, then me doing it with you, pause, wouldn't really mean anything because it wouldn't be a choice. Isn't it the case that you being my chosen one, when I could choose anyone else, when anybody could satisfy what I'm looking for, if I choose you, that's what gives it value. If you being replaceable is what gives you value. Because that means when you're chosen and you're not replaced, you have value. Otherwise, you're freaking like whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's kind of one of those sentiments, right? And I don't like that being negative, man. And then Iskandar goes, the inferiority you feel is actually the quality of a king. You may grumble a lot, but you know how small you are, and yet you'll still struggle to reach heights greater than you can imagine. It's not a compliment. You're making fun of me. That's right, boy. You're a hopeless idiot. And he says later, I'm just another idiot too. This guy is so goated, man. You may grumble a lot, but you know how small you are. And yet you'll still struggle. That's it. You know what? This is literally the key to Iskandar for me. For understanding Iskandar and for my love of Iskandar, it's these two words, and yet. I'm deceased, bro. And yet. You may know how small you are. You may have inferiority. You may have insecurity out the wazoo. You may be weak. You may be small. You may be bad at magic. You may have shitty magic bloodline. And yet, you'll still struggle to reach heights greater than you can imagine. It's so peak. It's so peak. It's like my favorite mindset personified into Alexander the Great, who, guess what? I like because he freaking was standing in front of Diogenes and was his shade one time. Like, that's freaking crazy. You know what I mean? I already liked Alexander the Great, like, historically as a character. I didn't know him very well. I only know him based off of, like, other Greek philosophers, right? And, like, their interactions with him. But I always kind of liked him just for that. And then he gets personified with, like, such a great mindset that I adore. I adore this mindset. And yet, you'll still struggle to reach heights greater than you can imagine. That's me every day. That's me every day, okay? Struggling to reach heights greater than I can imagine. And when I die, that's what I want to inspire. When I die, I want my dream, even if it's unfulfilled, to inspire other people to dream even greater than I ever did. Right? That's all I want, man. That's literally it. Because it's the dreaming. It's the dreaming, chat! It's the dreaming, bro. Just like freaking the child killer was saying, bro. just like freaking Castor was saying. It's the joy, it's the process of dreaming itself. Or perhaps, instead, we livers should find joy in the process of living itself. Wouldn't that be something? But no, I think ambition and striving is a really good way to do it too. It'll lit. Other thing I wanted to talk about, other thing I'll go off, and this will probably be like us wrapping it up a little bit. This was a great episode. Why? I really liked Ryunosuke and his philosophy. I found the God stuff really interesting too. Let me just like say that I found that really interesting. I quite liked it. It's hard to comment on that. You know what I mean? Because I don't freaking know what God wants, or if God's there. You know what I mean? So shout out God. The concept, the idea though of a God that kind of just like gives you a world with fun stuff in it, so you can do fun stuff, is really I quite like that idea in and of itself. The byproduct, which is perhaps negative, is people like Ryunosuke, that they see the horrors of the world, the suffering, the despair, the screams, the blood, and they say, well, God put it here for a reason, and I like it. How could it be bad? You know what I mean? And like low-key, Ryunosuke's having a good life. Yeah, like, he's, you know what I mean? This seems to be the like, question for chatters, question for the commenters of the world. Do you think Ryunosuke could be having more fun doing anything else? Or like have a better life, let's say. Let's not even make it about fun. Do you think Ryunosuke could have a better life like at a desk job instead of summoning Castor and hanging out and killing children? It's horrible, but it might be the best life that he can live just for who he is. It's kind of one of those moments where he's pretty much got his own value system, where he's, you know, as described with the God stuff, and he's living it pretty much perfectly, and so he's having a great time. It's only the issue of society's not going to allow him to get away with it that's going to make his well-being worse, right? But that's a matter of his execution being poor, right? And perhaps being too ambitious where he gets punished for it, right? But I also love that ambition. Oh no, this is literally it's crazy. Iskandar is like my favorite part of like this mentality, and then we got people like Ryunosuke, which is like the most dangerous part of this kind of mentality, a little bit. Because I get a little glimpse of it with Ryunosuke too, where it's like they're just having a great time doing their thing, you know, and just right, and it's like, but it's like so horrible, but also they're having a good time. So it's like, you know, this is like a bite the bullet character for me in a lot of ways. Though obviously, Ryunosuke, if I ever met Ryunosuke, I would want him dead, and I'm sure most people would, and that's totally fine because he deserves it. Only reason I say he deserves it is because I don't like it though. Bet. Last thing I want to say. I forgot I wanted to touch on that. Last thing I want to say was I called Saber a jobber. Let me explain. Okay, what is it to job? To job, I pull that from my fighting mangas I read. Okay, from fighting manga communities. Shout out Kengan Ashura. I'm a Kengan Ashura ho. If you know, you know. I'd recommend it. If you like fighting mangas, right? To job. To job, I'm sure you guys know what job means, but I'll just say it because I'm already saying it. It's like a jobber would be a character that is like written in order to fail to make other characters look stronger, you know? So it's like you write in a weak character for the strong character to dumpster, and then it makes the strong character look stronger. Something like that, right? That's kind of my understanding of the of the jobber, right? Saber has kind of jobbed in a lot of interactions. Reason being, she lost to Lancer which made Lancer look really strong. And then so she lost in a combat ability. And she's been wounded for that, and she has to like now live with the wound until she beats him. She's probably good. I think it's more of an underdog story rather than a jobber, but right now she's just failing and making other people look stronger, right? And so that kind of happened already. She obviously hasn't been able to put Castor down in like the previous engagement, which, you know, is another thing. When she was like getting jumped by all the little star spawn, right? But I think even crazier is episode 11. She kind of jobbed philosophically, or like in a debate lens, to Iskandar. Iskandar just rolled and smoked her in like everything, and then she basically kept like, she was on her back foot the entire time. She was sweating, she was flashbacking, she was losing it, bro. So it just made Iskandar look really good, right? And a part of me was really wanting Saber to spit some bars here, right? I kept saying it, if I remember right, where I was like, Saber, like, we gotta, you know what I mean? Because she got bars to spit, and I want her to come back and really cook with some of this, right? Even if, like, you know what I mean? Like, what motivates you, Saber? Other than just, like, do the good thing, right? What is the Saber mentality? What are you thinking in this field, surrounded by the dead? You know what I mean? I want to get into this more, but pretty much she was just, like, jobbing to Iskandar, and Iskandar was rolling and smoking her, bro. So, I don't know. I feel like she's kind of 0 for 2 right now. A little bit. This is probably my favorite Saber moment, though. This right here. the I dot dot dot, and then this. It's a really good shot. It's really well shot. Whew. But yeah, I'm waiting for this. I feel like Saber, she's gonna come back in this later half, the second core, right? She's gonna come back in action. She's gonna win more fights. She's gotta show some moves, right? Lancer's gonna get killed, and so she'll be back in full power, and then she's gonna be really strong, and then she'll probably also spit some bars. I'm waiting for some bars to be spat from her because I'm kind of been low on the bars from Saber, but I'm thinking they're gonna come. I'm just excited and waiting for them. But until then, I mean, Iskandar's absolutely my goat. I really, really like him. I really like how he's dealing with Waver. I'm really liking how Waver, I think, is being able to open up to Iskandar more, especially because of their interactions with each other. He wanted to learn more about Iskandar because I think when they found all the dead children, right? When was that? Episode 11? Yeah, here, right? I think they really understood each other better. I was kind of saying it at the time. I think it really was actually a lot for them. Oh no, it wasn't this episode. What episode was that? Wait, how long ago was that? Was it Rin's? It wasn't Rin's Adventure. Rin's Adventure was so random, like Loki. Was it really this far back, Master and Servant? Oh yeah, episode 9. I think this was actually a really big moment for them as characters, right? Because as it showed, Iskandar just, I really liked how Iskandar was kind of like talking to him, right? When he said like, this is the proper reaction to this situation. And Waver was like, how could you not be feeling something here, right? But I feel like this moment, they both got an enemy, a really horrible situation, and they both, I think, like had an unspoken like agreement and new understanding with each other. And then that's really paying off now in like this episode where Waver's going out of his way to learn more about him, especially because of the last conversations he's been hearing too, like episode 11, all that. And then it's really paying off. Waver's going to get some development. I'm so glad I put my stocks in Waver. Holy crap. I thought Waver was going to be a way different character at the start. And then I ended up being like, I can't believe I invested in Waver, like low-key, where I was like, this guy actually is freaking lost. I still liked him, though, as like a freaking like lost character. But now with Iskandar, his arc, I really like. It's some goated stuff. Episode 13, that was a really good episode. On to the next episode 14. Of course. If you like the video, like the video, subscribe. If you are new, blah, blah, blah. Comment down below if you have anything to say or join the Discord and talk to me or the face of your fans there. But until the next episode, that's all I got for this one. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.